Mid-cap index now clocking in a gain of almost 1%. There we have it, 180 points on the mid-cap index itself. From the frontline space, while Axis Bank continues to move higher, Asian Paints has touched that 1400 rupee mark that Nigel was just talking about before going into the break. It is NBCC that is now taking your breath away, up around 7.5% as we speak. Along with that, some moves coming in on Dish TV as well. Remember, the stock has been a stark underperformer. From the lows of the day, Dish TV, the stock has recovered about 2.5%. And then we have NCC along with NBCC2, which has moved a little bit in just the last 15 odd minutes. So just keep an eye out on the mid-cap index. The Nifty is still hovering around that 10,950 mark. A couple of these F&O stocks, they are moving higher. But let's move on to some national news. Our colleague Parikshit Luthra, he caught up with former Prime Minister Manmohan Singh, began by asking him about the progress in the GDP growth as compared to the past governments, as well as the recent RBI crisis situation. Let's hear out a slice of that conversation.
Well, I'm not an expert in GDP statistics, but I think it's not proper that when releasing the GDP numbers, I think there should be people who have no expertise sitting on the table along with the statistician. So I think that the Deputy Chairman of the Planning Commission was the one who was announcing these new numbers. That reduces the credibility of this exercise.
What about the working of the RBI, sir? You've seen the government so closely, you've seen the financial sector so closely, the crisis within the RBI.
I think one has to respect the autonomy and independence of the Reserve Bank. At the same time, I would say that the relation between the government and the Reserve Bank is like the husband and wife relationship. There will be hiccups, there will be differences of opinion, but ultimately these must be harmonized in a manner that the two great institutions of the government and the Reserve Bank can work in harmony with each other.
Using capital reserves of the RBI to fund a loan waiver, this is being speculated.
Well, I wouldn't like to comment on